Now this is day 2 of our Honda Gyro front brake fix and rejuvenation, and I'm going to do it on all the parts. I don't have the parts in yet. I don't even have them ordered. That's not the point. Half the time you've got to tear something apart to figure out what's wrong with it anyway. Now my next thing what I'm going to do is I have a basin in the house, and I'm going to put a lot of hot water in it. And you can get hot water all over everything. It's not going to hurt it, except on your little this is one thing you don't want to lose. You don't really need it, but it's a felt washer that goes on the end here that is used for, well, it's just part of the whole thing. But then what I'm going to do is I've got some simple green degreaser and the brake clean. The brake clean I'll use only after I get everything cleaned up, and I'll show you how to use that. And then I have some old stiff toothbrushes. So I'm going to have to pull this seal right here. I'm going to pull it and leave it off, and then you can take out this white inner race for the speedometer, but you can't take out the little splined speedometer gear. It's stuck in there. And then you want to clean everything up real good before you put it all back together. That way, like I said, if you do have a problem in the future, you'll know where the problem is coming from. So I'm going to clean all this up and then bring them out here and put them on a nice white sheet, and we'll put it all back together. And then I'll make the parts lists and we'll go on to something else. And then my last video, you've seen where I get the parts for the gyro. You can also get parts for your CMA 450A, what's available. And the one thing I do want to say about Bike Bandit, and it's not really their fault, but they may say like there's a cylinder for sale and for 150 bucks. Well, you'll send in for it and they will send you back saying it's no longer available, because Honda may drop their parts and not tell them. So that's with all parts and all rigs. Okay, I'm going to clean these up and we'll do a rebuild. Now I've got the parts all clean. I used a little bit of simple green, a little bit of brake clean. And on the brake clean, what I do is I take my toothbrush here, and whatever cleaner you want to use, simple green, this is a pretty good one, and I get off the major part of the grease, and then I take the brake clean and I'll spray it on here and let it drip off, just drip, 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 drip. And what that does is, brake clean is what's called a surfactant. What that means is it gets the oil and the grease, it raises it to the surface and flushes it off. And that's what clean pads need to look like. Those are in good shape. That's got a lot of meat on them. Here's our brake hub with the speedometer gear in it. And I like to use Q-tips to clean that out with. Now when I go to, and then of course here's our speedometer gear right here. Here's our arm, our spring, this is our other fulcrum, which goes here. Our spring, and this is the seal that went right in here that's shot. It's just old, and that's caused the leakage. So now what I'll do is I will take, I'll leave the seal off. I'll put it all back together. Since I'm not going to ride the bike this winter, I'll put it all back together after I clean up these forks here. I'll put it all back together. I'll make a list of the parts that I need. That way I don't lose any of the parts while I'm waiting. It depends, you know, on how long. It's a kind of a weird thing where when you got plenty of time to do something, you wait, and then all of a sudden you think, oh great, I'm gonna do it, it's gonna work out, and 20 million things come up and you can't get to it. So this is a way of doing it without losing parts. Now when we look over here on this wheel, these are the other two seals that have gone bad. The only reason they've gone bad, and I want to show you, you can see the seal where I've popped it out a little bit. It's supposed to be flush in there. But you just take a screwdriver and very nice and easily pry upwards until until it pops out like that. And then here it is right here. And it's the inside that matters. I mean, the seal is in beautiful shape, except that the rubber is 26 years old and it's never been out. Now there's one seal right here, and there is another seal on the other side. Which, no, I mean there isn't one. But the next thing I have to do is pop the bearings out. To pop the bearings out, it's a little bit harder, it looks hard, but it's really quite easy to do. And to get the new ones in, you just take a little hammer and tap them in. It's no problem. Now I've got to clean up the inside of this brake drum and get it all clean. And what I like to do is take a little bit of sandpaper and I run it around in there to get the glazing off the drum to give it a little bit more stick. So that's where we are right now. I'm going to break out my Nikon and take a few pictures of it, of the cleaned gyro parts. But this is how you do gyro brakes if you were going to do them the old school method. It's very simple. Honda made the parts simple so they'd work in the jungles of Borneo all the way to the middle of Antarctica. They're all over the world, and they made them simple. So there's a whole lot of technology in these little simple parts. That's why I really like Honda. I wish they sold more two-strokes in the United States. Okay.